And this is a whole subject that we'll get into another time, because this is a very big subject about how the church uses the sunrise behind the mountains. There's a very good reason why, and we'll get into that another time. But just to show how this symbolism is used in politics, in corporations, religion, churches, even the sunrise Torah symbol. The Jews use the sun rising over Jerusalem all the time. That's a very important symbol. Here we have sunrise in Jerusalem. There's a reason why the sunrise is important, because it's a symbol of the Illuminati, the illumination of the world by the illuminated minds. And of course, Charles Taze Russell, when he founded the International Bible Students Association back in the 1868, Zion's Watchtower today is known as Jehovah's Witnesses. That was a Illuminati Zionist movement as far back as 1868. And the sunrise was used profusely in the old watchtowers. Now, the rising of the morning sun is called the dawn, so when the spiritual or intellectual enlightenment comes into your heart or mind, we say things like, oh, it just dawned on me. Why do we say that? Oh, yes, it just dawned on me. That's what the sun does. It dawns. The dawn is it says here, the rising sun is a symbol of hope and a new beginning. The dawn. It's a Christian concept. And if you go on the web to Google and put in Christian New Dawn, you will see hundreds and hundreds of churches and church groups and Christian groups going by the name of Christian New Dawn, the New Dawn movements. Easter celebrates the new dawn of Christ brought into the world. Christian singers, the New Dawn singers. Here's Christian churches, the New Dawn Christian Church. So here's a picture of a Christian celebration, and you'll see on the backdrop, you'll see the crosses, and then you'll see in the middle the mountains with the sun rising on the new dawn. Most Christians have no idea in the world the significance of these symbols, have no concept in the world about what they're being led into. And of course, with this new dawn, we get into something called the new day, obviously. Christian symbolism still. And don't forget about the Jewish Kabbalah. The Jews also have the same symbol. That's where Christians have gotten it from. It's from the old ancient Jewish religion. In the book 9.5 Mystics, the Kabbalah today, on the 9th chapter is called The Fragrance of Eden, the way of one who is caught between the suns of a dying and dawning day. So this is a very important Jewish symbol also in synagogues, the sun rising for the new dawn. And here was a song that was written about the Jewish people during the Second World War. It says, "The first to perish were the children, abandoned orphans, the world's best and bleak earth's brightest. These children might have been our comfort for these sad, mute, bleak faces. Our new dawn might have arisen." So this whole idea of the coming of the Messiah, according to ancient Jerusalem and ancient Jewish teachings, has nothing to do, in fact, with a man coming to save the world. In Judaism, the Messiah is actually a messianic period of time. And of course, the second paragraph, talking about this red heifer, silly nonsense about a red heifer or a red bull that was born in Israel. This goes back to the worship of Taurus, the bull, and the constellation, when the sun was in the constellation of Taurus. This is why Moses and the Israelites were worshiping a golden calf. The golden calf was the sun, which is golden, and the calf, which is a Taurus, the bull, the constellation of Taurus. That's a whole subject we'll get into also. But even today, they're talking about a red heifer born in Israel. And the second paragraph goes on to say that tradition records that a red heifer in our generation is the herald of the Messianic era. It is certainly an important development toward the rebuilding of the Holy Temple. Our ancient sages taught that Israel's redemption could be compared to the dawn. In the beginning, it progresses very slowly, but as it continues, it grows brighter and brighter. So this whole idea of Messiah is not a man coming back, but it is a messianic era, a time period. And this time period is when the rebuilding of the Holy Temple, and this whole idea and concept of rebuilding the Holy Temple is a Masonic idea. Illuminati, Freemasonry, dreamt up the idea of rebuilding the Holy Temple. It has nothing to do with Judaism. It has to do with Masonic illumination, the dawn. And of course the Nazis were big on this thing too, on this idea. The Nazis were big also by saying, Fatherland, show us the sign your children have waited to see. The morning will come when the world is mine, tomorrow belongs to me. The Nazis were really big on using not just the eagle to represent the sun, but the Nazis were very big on the whole concept of the new dawn and the new day. We'll get into that in a few moments. If you go to the United Nations website and go to the UN website and type in a new dawn, you will see there are many articles about the new dawn. But what the UN is talking about, when it uses the term new dawn, is a new dawn for socialism, or what we might call Soviet communism. That's the new dawn in the United Nations view. So here we have newspapers from the UK. It says only a strategic partnership with China will keep this new dawn bright. Here is Gordon Brown with his wife talking to Ted Kennedy, and it says Gordon Brown, the Prime Minister of England, calls for a new dawn of collaboration with the U.S. and the European Union. Bush sees a bright dawn emerging. Here's Brown calls for a new world order, which would be a part of that truly global society of the new dawn. Even the Catholic Church is getting into the act, talking about the new world that's coming in the new dawn. And while we're talking about the UK and the United States working together for this new dawn, we might also want to remember a very interesting and important article in August of 1914 in the Congressional Record. Now, in the Congressional Record, as far back as 1940, there was entered into the Congressional Record a series of articles called Steps Toward British Union, a World State in International Strife. This was entered in August 1940 in the House of Representatives. Again, the title of this articles that were entered into the Congressional Record. Think about what you're reading. Steps Toward British Union, a World State, an international war, international strife. And it says the author of this is Representative Thorkelson. And he said,